What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here from DataDash, and today is January 20th of 2025. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are, because in today's video, I want to spend some time to have a real one-on-one conversation with you guys. Not only because Bitcoin has come back up here above the 21-day and is pushing towards new all-time highs here potentially in the next 24 to 48 hours, but beyond that as well, I want to spend some time to talk about the official Trump Memecoin launch and the following meme coins from Melania, potentially ones from Barron and other family members of the Trump family, and just this whole kind of celebrity meme coin craze and meme coins in general. I want to talk about obviously how you can go about best trading these, but I also want to have a little bit of a conversation about what this means for crypto going forward. So let's just go ahead and quickly run through Bitcoin, and I want to dive into that as well. So the first thing here, just want to let you guys know about, we've basically changed the trend here. We've been able to reclaim above the 21-day. We had a pullback here from around 106 down to 100,000. We reclaimed that as support on the 21-day. Perfect timing. Nice breakout here. So far, the bulls are in charge now. The trend has changed. Now, the big thing I'm going to say above all, guys, before all the stuff we talk about, again, bear in mind, watch these ETF inflows. Watch whether or not we start getting these upper double-digit numbers in the $50,000 to $70,000 range. We are going to need that. And outside of that as well, we also want to see what MicroStrategy is doing. Is it going to be another single-digit thousand Bitcoin purchase, or are we going back into double digits? That is what really matters most here, okay? Now, of course, there's the narrative of the strategic reserve, things like that. We'll kind of talk about that later. But I want to go ahead here and talk, obviously, about what is on everyone's mind right now. And don't worry, I'm not going to get political or anything like that. It doesn't have to do with being pro-Trump or anti-Trump or anything like that. I actually, at the end of the day, was very happy to hear that the Trump administration is generally pro-crypto, because I think there is, in areas like DeFi, Bitcoin as a kind of hedging, kind of alternative asset. I think overall, these are all very good things, and I'm happy to see that we're finally maybe going to have the right regulatory environment where these ideas can actually thrive. What I got to spend some time to talk about, though, is another category of crypto, which is obviously the center point of focus and where Trump has actually kind of gotten himself directly involved, and that's the launching of his own meme coin. And as you all probably know by now, I don't probably have to be the one to tell you this, it has been a huge success. It is absolutely ballooned. I don't think anyone is surprised by that. Once it became clear that his page hadn't been hacked on X and this was real, which I think for somebody who was just still kind of unbelievable at the time, the Trump, token, in this case the meme coin that it launched, started out I think less than $1, maybe like $1 or $2, and the earliest centralized exchange that we have is that it launched basically here around $7 or $8, but it was cheaper than that. So for people who got into this at the right time, have easily made a 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, potentially 50x on their money. And it has been probably one of the most lucrative trades in the past, probably in the entirety of this bull market, considering the time frame you were able to make that multiple, and considering if you were able to just simply be there with capital at the time to make that trade, it was probably one of the easiest bets, even if his Twitter profile or X account had been hacked, right? So again, I want to start by just saying here, for those who did make the trade, before I get into my whole rant and rave, if you got into it, congratulations, take some profits. If you made life-changing money, do not get caught holding the bag. Take a little bit off the table. You can still let the rest ride. And what I'm going to talk about later will help to clarify what do you do with the rest, right? But to those who missed it as well, I want to say, and I know this is probably the larger portion of the audience here, to not be upset. Don't feel like you're never going to make it in crypto or financial markets as a whole. There are 1,000 different opportunities that will come in your lifetime. It's more important to know which opportunities to take, and more important to understand which ones to avoid, to make sure that you don't fall into the consistent traps that seem like great ideas but usually aren't. And meme coins, there are a lot of bad stories, right? This is one of success so far, but it could very well turn into one of ginormous failure in the long run, as so many meme coins eventually and inevitably lead to. So I want to talk about all this as we go throughout today's video, right? So I think we just kind of got the sentimental points out of the way. If you got in, congratulations. If you missed it, don't worry, there will be more opportunities. But I want to go ahead and talk about one kind of negative thing, and then I'll talk about obviously what matters, I think, for a lot of you, which is how to go about trading these things. I just want to bring to your attention, guys, as many of you have probably sensed, I've talked about it on the channel, and I think many of you probably have observed it on your own as well, that if you are at all focused on investing in cryptos for their fundamentals, or you are interested in the fundamental sectors of crypto, just know that it is not going to be the top performing category of crypto, and let alone that you may very well be more likely to land a position where you're going to buy at an entry and it's going to be at a lower price when you sell it. For anyone here who had a shred of hope that crypto was going to be something fundamentally exciting beyond meme coin speculation, those who maybe been around here since 2017 like myself, I don't wear that as some kind of badge of honor or mean to grandstand by any means, but if you got into the industry for any hopes that it was actually going to help people through DeFi, through really going out there and banking the unbanked, bringing new financial services, challenging the centralized financial system paradigm, you can toss those out of the window. Because at this point, the big thing that stole the show, there's even World Liberty Fi, which is what Trump's kind of affiliated with, which from my understanding is going to be like a DeFi platform, probably offering very similar services to Aave or Compound, kind of those traditional predictable ones, just with this kind of Trump representation. That got some traction, but nowhere near the traction and the price appreciation and the speculation as the official Trump meme. And this, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it just really sits bad with me that, man, after more than 7 years of being in this space, this is what we have to show for. Right. Again, I don't want to come across as like bitter or anything, guys. Trust me, I've made more than enough money in crypto. And yes, I, just like back in Q1 of 2024 or any other time throughout history, I'm totally fine trading something if I feel I can enter in and sell it at a higher price. Nothing wrong about it. It's the game of markets. Same in stocks, same in commodities, anything else. Crypto is just where the price multiple expansion can happen. But yeah, I think we need to be realistic with ourselves here that the industry is a lot more cutthroat. It's about getting information early. It doesn't really matter what you're buying. It's a matter of buying in as early as possible on the next big trend and unloading it once that trend starts to die down in a very short window of time. It's basically become a casino. We can't call it anything other than that. And I think if we tried to, we'd be lying to ourselves, right? So I'm not trying to be all philosophical here, but I think that's a very important standard we need to set here for the future of crypto, which is that there isn't much fundamental going for the space. I think about all the founders who see this right now, who've been working for the last couple of years on projects. And I don't think they're bitter. I think they're just like, wow, okay, maybe I shouldn't be building this awesome DeFi protocol that already they're putting a lot of risk and work into. Or maybe I shouldn't be building this crowdfunding platform to support new, awesome, exciting, fundamental ideas. No, it's all meme coins now. And that's just the reality of it. And when you can launch meme coin after meme coin, and they immediately get multi-billion-dollar valuations, or you have insider meme coins that get somehow immediate exchange listings, to not just go ahead and play along with that game or just completely step out of the industry seems foolish at this point. And I say that as someone who's been from a trader's perspective and as someone who founded a company in the crypto space before. So that's bittersweet, but at the same time, I understand you guys might still say, hey, Nick, I want to get my own. I want to get my bag. I want to make some money in crypto. How do I go about trading these things, right? So if the focus is meme coins, how do we go about actually making money in these different plays? Well, the first thing I would definitely recommend you guys consider is, if you haven't watched it, watch my video from nearly a year ago, the Ultimate Meme Coin Trading Guide. If you look that up on YouTube or on our YouTube channel, you'll find all the important information about how to actually go about trading meme coins. Funny pose. But you'll learn about essentially how to trade these things, how to spot breakouts, how we made some great money in meme coins in Q1 of 2024. I see no problem in trading these things, But the important thing you need to know about, guys, and if you made it this long, if you listen, let me kind of rant or use the timestamps to jump forward. I want to make it clear here that I understand that meme coins are an opportunity. AI agents, you can definitely, if you trade these new narratives right, you can make some great money. But there are a lot of pitfalls to it. There's smart contract risk. There are rug pulls of various different types. You have to set really high standards, and you need to be really glued to the screen when you're trading these things, because things move on a dime. They move very quick in this sector. And when you have to consider all the risks of rug pulling or insiders cashing out or all these things like that, right? Put aside if it's Melania or Trump, or if it would be Joe Biden or Kamala, your favorite celebrity or musician, Hawk Tuah girl, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm here to let you guys know here that there's nothing personal about this. It's about making sure you preserve and protect your capital first and foremost. It's great if you could double your money. It's great if you could triple it or 5x it or 10x it. It sucks when you lose 50%, or worse, you lose everything. That's a very serious matter here. I know some of you might be working with $100. To you, it might be beer money. For some people, it's their life savings, right? So I want to keep that in mind, that I respect that we have such a really great audience here. And I want to talk about how you can go, just kind of give some hints if you don't watch that whole video, about how you can trade these things. So if we go, for example, to the official Trump meme coin on CoinMarketCap, we click on the Markets tab, and we come down here to, I'll use Meteora here in this case. You could also use Radium, whatever gives you the most price action, right? As I mentioned earlier, the token launched here like less than $1, right? What we want to do here is, as the chart is getting more and more price action, we want to set in our EMA indicators. So these are exponential moving averages, right? So we're going to go ahead, add these into the chart here, and go ahead, set the value for one of them. One of them is already set to 9. We want to set the other one to 21, and we want to set the third one to 50, okay? Now these moving averages are points in which you can look for buy the dip opportunities in meme coins that are leading forward, that are strong, exhibiting good price action, a lot of momentum, a lot of volume, right? And Trump, obviously, is one of those. I have no doubt that this could still remain relevant for a while. I have no doubt the valuation could go even more bananas than it is right now. Like, I'm keeping open to that possible. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but there is the potential for that, knowing how popular Trump is, right? So keeping that in mind here, not to mention other meme coins as well, right? So what we want to do here is take a look at how the moving averages can give us buy the dip opportunities. Now, on something as fast moving and as quick as the president of the US launching a meme coin, you might have to dive into the shorter term time frames, right? The 5 minute, the hourly, right? Essentially speaking, we want to look at these shorter term time frames, like for example right here on the hourly, when we had the first initial pullback from 34 to 24 to 25. When we see price holding in these moving averages here, or holding on top of one of them, as we saw here, for example, the first retest of the line got immediately bought back up, right? This is the kind of sign you want to see when you see accumulation or sideways price action of those moving averages and an initial breakout. That's kind of your cue that this thing has more, room to run, right? And you can also see here there's a very harsh sell-off here, a lot of sell-side pressure and volume. I think this was when Melania had launched her meme coin, right? You want to be able to see a reclaim of the moving averages and make it support, because if that happens, that's usually your sign that you're going to see further price extension. It's not a guarantee, but what it gives you is an ability to buy in a pullback. You'd be entering in here at say $50 versus 75, so 33% discount roughly speaking. And outside of that as well, you have a baseline to work with where you can set a stop of 20% below your entry price. You understand you could lose 20%, but the upside from that point is practically theoretically unlimited, right? I'm not saying you hold it forever, but you could set realistic take profits within, essentially a good way to think about it is if you're risking 20% of your capital, if you could, for example, at a 40%, when you're up 40% of your position, you sell half and you let the rest ride, that's a risk-free position from that point on, right? And you can essentially let it do its thing, right? So that's the really cool thing. You can take out that, either you can take out your initial capital, or you can keep your stop loss, move your stop loss lower. There's lots of different ways to go about playing it. But generally speaking, you can use these moving averages to find great buy the dip opportunities. You don't want to buy when it's extended away from the moving averages. You want to wait for some, kind of consolidation, some sell side or distribution pressure, a nice dip, and then you find the opportunity to buy it at a lower price point. All right, and I would say that for all of the major coins. The second thing as well that I do want to emphasize, although this is not going to be a problem with the Trump meme coin, is essentially making sure that you look at the smart contract risk. Right now on CoinMarketCap, thankfully, Go Plus, which is it's a security provider, they basically can give you details on each smart contract and Solana smart contract risk, and you want to make sure that all of that is generally checked off and generally marked as safe. Right, in that case, shouldn't have any worries about someone being able to essentially mint a lot of new tokens or be able to rug in some shape or fashion, right? So that's an important thing. Doesn't mean someone with a lot of insider tokens can't just unload and sell, but it's very likely the incentive is not there, especially for something so large like this, for that to happen, right? So keep that in mind. The second thing I want to talk about, don't put all your money into these things, guys. Look, I'm not your financial advisor. You're going to make decisions for yourself at the end of the day, right? If you've got capital to work with, chances are you're an adult who can make decisions for yourself. And I don't want to try to speak down to anyone, but I come here as a friend because there are a lot of people out there who aren't going to tell you this, who are going to say put everything into it. And they will tell you about all the great stories about how people made money in meme coins. They won't tell you about all of the people they've wronged or led down the wrong path to essentially lose everything trying to speculate in crypto markets. There is, for every great story where someone made a 100x return, there are 99 people who lost a lot of money or got outpaced by Bitcoin or the broader market just trying to trade in and out of markets. So just keep that in mind, right? Have fractional exposure. For me, my rule is generally that I don't allocate more than usually 1% to 2%. If I really saw something here like this Trump meme coin that I feel has more security risk to it, less security risk. It's kind of a safer play here, much more liquid, a lot of liquidity here, a lot riding on its success. Then maybe I would bump it up to like 3 or 5%, right? But something that you're willing to lose. Like if I lost 5% of my portfolio, I'm not going to go to bed, not being able to sleep at night, right? Not being able to pay bills, right? I have that cushion and I can assess the risk, and I'm going in with a trading strategy which gives me a given risk of what I can potentially lose and what I could potentially make. And that's favorable enough for me to make a trade, right? So keep that in mind. So those are the first few points here. Again, make sure you have a strategy. Utilize those 4-hour EMAs or some other similar strategy that you've seen works and gives you a framework for risk management. Make sure the smart contract is safe. And the third thing is to make sure that you get in early. Trump and Melania coin at this point might do okay, but we got to start looking for the next meme, because as you saw here from this drop, this is a great illustration. This is when Melania launched her token, took a 40% hit. You don't want to be caught holding the bag there. Not to mention, at that point, many people might have been trying to buy at the moving averages there, right? So my main point here is you want to get in early and you want to get out early. And what I mean by that is we got to look for new meme coins. We got to look for new plays. And I'm not here to tell you should go out and buy this one, for example. This is like supposedly what some people are rumoring is going to be the official Baron meme coin. Look, I'm not here to say that at all. What I'm here to say, though, is that you want to keep an eye on newly launched tokens in these trends. You want to watch the price action. If they are pumped up fund contracts, they're usually going to be more predictable because they're launched in a particular format through a bonding curve. So this allows for the launch to be a little bit more fair. And, it's just purely a question of whether or not there are going to be more buyers or sellers, right? So again, keep an eye on like what the next best thing is, because as of at the time of recording and stuff just a couple hours ago, this thing was at 5 cents, it went up to 46 cents, right? Put a couple percentage points of your portfolio in there, time it relatively well, sell after a 10x or after a 5x. Your annualized return for your portfolio is already phenomenal, right? So that's a key thing I just want you guys to keep in mind here. Look for the next big thing here. Keep an eye on the charts. Make sure that you're not just looking at what everyone's already looking at, because you want to find the trend before it gets into the hands of everyone else. That's the whole name of the game here. It's timing. It's having the liquidity ready on your Phantom wallet, on your MetaMask if it's an ETH wallet, but in this case it's going to be Solana most likely, as everything's going through pump.fun. So just to keep that in mind, you want to have liquidity ready. You want to follow all the pages, all the areas in which would be in line with the trend here. In this case, follow all the major personalities, follow their pages, right? and wait and wait for that announcement, and essentially you can chase some of those positions. But I would not say with all your money. Don't get caught thinking that you can refinance your home or take out a home equity loan or something and go out and buy stuff. Don't do stuff like that. Don't trade on borrowed capital. There's already great multiple potential here. All right. And the last thing we want to do is, essentially be in a bad position because of meme coins. So anyways, I know I rambled out a good amount, guys. It's great to see Bitcoin at all-time highs. Talks of the Bitcoin strategic reserve coming into the picture, definitely interesting. But above all, I have to tell you guys that, tread safely out there, right? You guys know I've been around for a while here on YouTube, and I think the only reason we still are very, I think, relevant here on YouTube for a lot of people during good times and bad, through constant bull markets and bear markets, no matter what's going on, is that I always try to do my best to let you guys know that, you have to be safe out there. You have to navigate this environment properly. Crypto, I wish I could have said that crypto is no longer the wild, wild west. It still absolutely is. And it's only gotten more wild over the last couple of years. It's gotten more unpredictable, more random. I heard a friend the other day, I was chatting with, basically label it as it's getting weird. And he's been in crypto about the same time as I have. Couldn't describe it better. It's getting weird. And it's becoming baseless. There's no fundamentals by any means. All the traditional frameworks and metrics people would have looked for and hoped for, those are out of the question. It is purely about price now. And we have to get in line with that. It's a casino. You got to apply strategy to it. And if you can, then you can hopefully make some good money. But don't get caught holding the bag or falling in love with your positions. Realize what they are. Realize who you're up against. Realize who out there is potentially the sell side part of the equation, right? So anyways, guys, I rambled out a good amount here today. Don't lose track as well of the big picture, the ETF inflows, MicroStrategy, all very important stuff. Talks of a Bitcoin strategic reserve. That's what really is going to drive markets. If Bitcoin's not doing well, we can kiss meme coins and all this stuff goodbye. So don't lose sight of that at the end of the day. Hope you guys have a phenomenal day wherever you are, and I'll see you all right back here on the next video. Take care, everyone. And if you enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like. Take care, everyone.